Hey, it's Chris Landry with Soundings and Soundings Trade Only. Today I'm here with the keynote speaker. He's about to take the stage in a little while. I'm here with Robert Stevenson. He's a well-known speaker, motivational speaker, and I'm going to ask him a couple questions. So thank you for joining me.
My pleasure.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
What are you going to talk to this audience about? How are you going to get your message across?
Well, it's interesting. Peter Drucker years ago made a statement. Someone said, "Why aren't you industry specific?" And he said, "Because business is business." He said, if I need to find out about the widgets, I'll go talk to the widget maker. So when you look at even any industry, even in being marine retail, they're still dealing with profits. They're still dealing with stress. They're still dealing with how you get more out of your employees. How do you get customers into your showroom? How do you have great customer service? So it's all aspects of business still pertain to marine industry as it does to dealing with the copier business. It's just this just happens to be a whole lot more fun. It was interesting when I was interviewing a lot of the people that were the retailers. The passion that they had coming across the phone was incredible.
Oh, so you interviewed prior to this?
Yes, sir.
Prior to this event,
right.
You interviewed some people to get to brush up a little bit.
I don't do any generic programs. I don't really think that's being respectful to your client. So what I do is I customize the program to fit the needs of the people sitting in the audience. So I spend a lot of times picking up the phone, calling people, asking questions, and shutting up and listening. Right. And find out what are the core competencies that you need to have in your business. What are the things that you're putting up with on a daily basis? How's the economy affecting you? What are your biggest problems that you have to deal with on a daily basis? And then I weave a program around what they had to say. That way I think the audience kind of appreciates the fact that you took some time, even though I say I'm not an industry expert, but I do have some knowledge about business, and so but I like to know where they're coming from. It makes me feel a lot more comfortable. And got all kinds of industry experts here. They're going to be able to educate them on specifics. But what I'm trying to do is when you're dealing with the business side, how do you get more out of your people? How do you deal with a lower economy? How do you, when you have fewer shots at the customer coming in the door, you got to make sure you're going to take your best shot. So what do you need to do? Is your showroom clean? Have you presented the boats properly? Do you have the proper knowledge? So it was really a pleasure talking to the people because, as I said, they had so much passion. In fact, I remember when I was talking to Susan, I said, I don't think I'll ever walk into any one of their showrooms because if I do, I'll walk out with a boat. I mean, they just love doing what they do so much, which is kind of fun to talk to people like that.
Yes, that's a great point.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to hear that. Are there a couple key points that you're going to try to drive home tonight?
Well, one of the biggest things I try and show people is I say, because we're dealing with the owners here, okay, or people that are managing operations. And one of the problems that we have as a business person is we're always telling our people to raise the bar. We got to get better. We got to do this. We got to do that. But we don't tell them why. So one thing I try and do is I try and show them a lot of reasons why, because it's the old expression: if you don't like change, you're going to hate extinction, because they're constantly looking for new and different things, and what is a customer going to really lock onto? So I'll be talking about dealing with change. I'll be talking about competition. I'll be talking about stress. I'll be talking about different aspects of how you can get your people prepared, even some sales technique, because when you look at an owner of a company, he's a jack of all trade, maybe master of none, but he has to have the full gamut. So I kind of touch on a lot of different things in the period, which I like doing.
You have to be flexible, diverse,
yes, sir.
Change.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to figure out what's going to be what's the next biggest and greatest thing, but also is it going to be profitable for you? Sometimes the greatest widget that just came out isn't profitable for you, so you don't always have to have that. It's so many of them are sitting there saying, trying in this industry specifically, was how can you make boating easy? How can you make it? And one person, when you buy the boat, there's no cost for the next year, and which I thought was kind of an interesting play, because it's kind of like BMW was having trouble with sales. So what did they do? They said, okay, if you own our car for 4 years, you don't have to pay for anything for 4 years, right. Which was an interesting way to kind of get people into the showroom, and that's your cost. So that kind of played over when someone said, well, there's no additional cost for a year. We want them to enjoy boating, to not have all these surprises or whatever. And so I thought that was an interesting correlation of two different industries.
Right. And who brought that up?
One of the people I was talking to on the phone. They gave me a list of about 20 different dealers that I could talk to, and so I just picked up the phone and called them, and that's what they say. Well, the one thing I found was interesting is when talking to different areas of the country, because I was talking to one dealer in Vermont, another dealer in Texas, another dealer in Florida, and like the Texas dealership, he said the economy hasn't been that much of a problem for them. All right, because Central Texas is doing better as far as the economy is concerned, where there's other places in the country that there was a problem. And then the Vermont dealer said the same thing. She said, but we're dealing with people that are always coming to the lake, and this is what we do, and we've been there for generations. So they've got the name, the notoriety, the trust. But then you have other markets. I live in Clearwater, Florida. And Clearwater has been devastated. I mean, market housing values are down, 50% in some places. So as one of the dealers said there, he said, you look at what's happening with housing values, you're going to have the same situation dealing with boats. Mm-hmm. And so there's a correlation there. So different markets had different situations that they had to put up with.
Okay, good. Well, we're looking forward to it.
It would be my pleasure.
Well, thanks a lot, Mr.
Thank you, sir.
Stevenson.
Okay.
I appreciate it.